Hi, welcome back to another episode of Watch Therapy. Today we have a solar dive watch from Seiko. It is the SNJ025. It is a modern interpretation of a dive watch, a hybrid dive watch, they call it, back in 1982. It says on the website and in my research. Let's take a moment to connect with this sharp looking watch, purpose-built looking watch. Well, I think to each their own. I think this is another solid watch from Seiko. The price point, it is for sale at Tick Tock Shop, is $525. I know Jonathan can do better. He recently told me he can usually look at 10, even 20%, depending on the watch discounts. So I'll put information in the description about that. What do you guys think? I mean, I have a couple things. I don't want to start negative because it's a great looking watch and all that. This is more just nuances. Well, I'll start positive. I like that it's got the tuna can design, right? It's got the shroud, much like the tuna I wore today. SBBN015. That's mine. And you can see the shroud. Look at that. Quite similar, isn't it? Crown is down by 4 o'clock there. Theirs is more like a 3. But the shroud itself, the little hex bolts in there, same thing. Mine's probably 12 or 13 years old at this point. Got it used from Japan. So I like that. It looks like the lugs, a little more inboard here. They're a little coming out here. Look how turned that is. That's why it sits so comfortably on the wrist. So I do like that. Put mine aside. This one's different in the ways of it's a solar. It's 200 meter. Mine is the Marine Master, which is 300. And it's hybrid. And I started to say, to each their own. I mean, look how this circle with the Lumibrite on there kind of makes a nice circle here, and then the top just sort of like beep, comes across. It's not a circle, I don't think, with those indices because they got that up there. And I don't know why I would want a digital here and then analog here. I know how to read an analog watch or a digital watch. I would say make it either or, not both. This screen, though, does help with, has a chronograph function, which is not here per se. You'll see the counter here. It does have an alarm, and that's set up here. So maybe it's more about the other functions it has versus like needing to tell time side by side here, just two different ways. Something to think about. I also just want to comment that it's an interesting that the Seiko, most watch companies, most, not all, they're made where they're from, right? Swiss watches are made in Switzerland. They're not made in this case, China, as far as I know. I'm sure there's exceptions. But this has the movement, it says Japan, but it look right there. Made in China. I don't know if I like that. I'm a purist. And you got the Prospex symbol on here, which is supposed to be their highest level of watch next to the Lux line. And, well, it's made in China, not Japan. And they're still charging you $525. Again, I'm sure you could find it better, but that's where it started. The movement, the H851, is from Japan, and it is solar. Just something to think about. Just my thoughts on that. Still a great watch. I just think it's a little diluted. It's not kind of the Seiko that I've known to love that is all made in Japan and doesn't outsource things to other countries and charges you more. So something to think about. But the solar function's cool. I noticed this thing, I've had it out, and it won't do it this fast, but you pretty much put this in the dark for more than 5 minutes and it goes to sleep, and that's pretty much just the seconds hand goes up to 12 and stops. The second it sees light, it's very responsive, and boom, it'll go right back to where it's supposed to be, and this top screen will come back on. I have a Seiko Astron, and I never see that thing go to sleep. It says it does, but I never do. This watch goes to sleep very quickly. It does have screw-down crown, screw-down pushers, so it's certainly 200 meters. You can swim all day, you can dive in it, whatever you want. Lastly, I believe this is nicknamed after the Arnie, or called the Arnie. Correct me if I'm wrong, please do. Where Arnold Schwarzenegger would wear a very similar watch. Maybe that's back in the 80s there, the 1982 reference here, but it looks very similar to the Arnie, which is a very classic and famous watch. So that's my take on it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.